The Denver Broncos have just received some exciting news ahead of the NFL draft, and it looks like there's a strong chance a top tier player could fall to us at pick 20. With the needs of teams ahead of us, we might be in a prime position to land a true talent. Plus, we've got a couple of Pro Bowl running backs on the trade block. Could the Broncos fill their running back need without even having to draft one? There's a lot to discuss, so let's dive in. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Your support really helps out with the algorithm and keeps the channel growing. Looking ahead to the draft, our dream scenario is that a standout prospect like Ashton Gentry somehow falls to us at 20. Not long ago, this seemed like a distant hope, but recent events around the NFL, including the needs of teams in front of us, make it look increasingly likely. Some prominent draft analysts even have Gentry slipping to us, and this could actually be a realistic possibility. Now let's talk about the latest news. The first bit that stands out is the surprising rise of Jalen Milroe, a quarterback from Alabama. Initially considered a day 2 or day 3 pick, Milroe recently posted an impressive 40-yard dash time, earning him an invite to the NFL draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This indicates he could go in the first round, which could cause a ripple effect in the draft. We know how quickly quarterback runs can happen, and with this development, we might see 4 quarterbacks taken within the first 20 picks. This means that positions like running back, exactly what the Broncos need, could be in a better spot to fall to us. Some mock drafts are already projecting 4 quarterbacks to go in the first 12 picks, which could push other positions down the board. So it's becoming more and more likely that we could land a skilled player at 20. On top of that, we're hearing buzz about Jackson Dart, another quarterback who might go higher than expected. Some analysts are predicting he could even be a top 10 pick. If that's the case, we could see another QB go early, which benefits teams like the Broncos that aren't looking for a quarterback this year. The last bit of good news comes from another team ahead of us losing their starting left tackle. The Miami Dolphins, who are desperate to keep Tua Tagovailoa healthy, just saw their Pro Bowl offensive lineman retire. This will likely force the Dolphins to address the offensive line early, which could open up more opportunities for other positions to slide to us. Looking ahead, another team that could be impacted by the draft is one that may not have originally prioritized offensive line help, but now absolutely needs it. The Broncos' offensive line is one of the highest paid units in the league, so it's fantastic whenever a team ahead of us faces a need we don't have. The fact that they need help in that area works to our advantage. Staying within the division, there's some great news on multiple fronts. First, I'm excited that we no longer have to face Jack Jones. For those who don't know, Jones was a player for the Raiders who many thought highly of. He was a favorite of their former coach, Antonio Pierce, and when he was on his game, Jones was one of the toughest cornerbacks in the league. However, his fit in the Raiders' new coaching system was a struggle, and after shopping him around, he's now gone. This opens up a big hole for the Raiders, especially at pick 6, where they desperately need a cornerback. With so many team needs, the Raiders may pass on a running back and instead go for a cornerback, which would be the smarter move for them. This is a huge win for the Broncos, especially since we no longer have to play against Jones. It also leaves the Raiders in a tricky spot as they try to fill their numerous gaps. When you think about the offseason, the Raiders were sitting on the second most cap space in the NFL, only behind the New England Patriots, and they had big plans to reshape their team. But what have they done? Signed Geno Smith and lost talent. It's a clear indication that they might be further from playoff contention than they hoped. Now, for the Broncos, if Ashton Gentry falls to us at pick 20, I say run, don't walk, to the podium to draft him. But if he's off the board, there are some intriguing Pro Bowl caliber running backs potentially available via trade. We know that Melvin Gordon, who spent time with the Broncos, is now part of a running back committee with the New York Jets. There's also talk about Breece Hall possibly being on the trading block. If the price is right, a second or third round pick, this could be a golden opportunity for the Broncos to snag a game changer. Before his knee injury, Hall looked like a future star, and his flashes of brilliance were undeniable. I had him in my Dynasty Fantasy League, and he looked like he could be a true difference maker. Yes, Hall hasn't quite returned to his pre-injury form, but it's not uncommon for running backs to recover from knee injuries and get back to their old selves. Look at Javonte Williams' journey. The Broncos' medical staff evaluated him and made the decision not to rely on him reaching his full potential. Still, There are plenty of running backs in the league who've bounced back from major injuries and returned to being top tier players. If the Broncos conduct a thorough medical evaluation on Hall and determine he's worth the risk, I'd be very interested in bringing him in. If the Broncos feel confident that Breece Hall could be a game changer, I believe they should pursue a trade to fill their running back need. It would be a great move for the team. Another name that has come up recently is James Cook, the Pro Bowl running back from the Buffalo Bills. He's up for a new contract, and his recent decision to put his house in Buffalo on the market suggests he may not be returning to the team. There were plenty of moments where Cook was absolutely dominant, particularly in his game against the Dallas Cowboys, where he outgained the entire Cowboys offense. His ability to catch passes from Josh Allen also makes him a great fit for the Broncos' offense, especially with Sean Payton's desire for a versatile joker at the position. Cook may be older, but his athleticism and bloodlines, his brother is also an NFL running back, are undeniable. Regardless of which direction the Broncos take, they'll eventually have to face the Bills at some point, and it's great news that Cook may not be returning to Buffalo. Now let me know in the comments what you think. What should the Broncos do with the 20th pick? Is there any chance that Ashton Gentry could still be available at pick 20? With the Raiders losing a cornerback, the Dolphins losing a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, and quarterbacks like Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart rising in the draft, there's a real possibility that Gentry could fall to us. It's rare for a running back to go in the top 10, with the last time that happening being Bijan Robinson, but it's not entirely out of the question. I believe there's a strong chance Gentry could be available at pick 20, and if he is, I say the Broncos should take him. That's my locked-in prediction. Broncos country, the future looks bright. There's a lot to be excited about and plenty to believe in moving forward.